That was a really good team win against a good team. I think the thing I'm most proud of is we changed things up a lot tonight in the game, and the team really communicated well and just kept competing to the end. We had moments of good play. We obviously had some moments, especially down the stretch, of some really sloppy play with the ball, but the guys stayed locked in, and ultimately we were able to get enough stops to win the game. The guys have been putting in a lot of really hard work. We've had a lot of tough games, but I think tonight their attention to detail defensively was very good. I think we made Jalen Brunson really work tonight. I think that was a big highlight for us, was just kind of trying to change the rhythm of the game a little bit with him, and not be so reactionary. He's a really, really smart player. I have a ton of respect for their whole team. I have a ton of respect for Jalen. He's a special player, so we felt like we needed to mix things up tonight, and the guys did a great job.
First of all, do you know anything on Keyonte's injury?
We're going to wait and get an MRI tomorrow to check on his ankle, but besides that, I don't have more information. They haven't done the MRI yet.
Okay. And then you guys played a lot of zone tonight, and it seemed like it worked pretty well. What did you like about that look against this team, and how did you think it worked, especially with the personnel that were executing?
I think they're a pretty methodical offensive team. They play a lot of two-man game with Brunson and Randall. They end up playing a good amount of isolation on the wing, especially with Randall. And so we just felt like playing some zone, we were able to dictate the matchups a little bit better. We were able to keep them out of some of their man-to-man sets. They're a really good team, and they know how to grind out a game. Tibbs is one of the better coaches in the league, and his teams always play so hard, and they have a way of squeezing a game. So we just felt like it was a good opportunity for our group to change the rhythm of the game a little bit and switch things up. I think the guys did a really good job. This is stuff we've been working on a lot, and sometimes you have to work on things for a pretty long time before they start to show up in a game. We haven't played a little bit of zone at the beginning of the year. Walker was out for a while, so we went away from it for a bit. But I think the guys did a good job tonight. It's hard to, on the fly, switch between man and zone. The responsibilities are very different. I thought the team did a good job communicating tonight.
It seemed like Taylor really had kind of a defensive impact during his minutes tonight. What did you see out of him?
I mean, Taylor's athleticism shows up. He's playing really hard. He's still learning the kind of the detailed part of it all. He hasn't been with us a ton, and so some of the scheme, some of the communication, obviously there's a real thing that goes on when a player and a coach communicate, like, what do I actually mean when I say something? And so Taylor and I are getting that understanding. He's getting that understanding with our staff. But his activity's great. Like, all I'm asking of Taylor right now is that he just plays as hard as he can, because he has an ability to block in transition, gets his hand on, a couple of passes with his length. Like, his athleticism really shows up. I think while he's trying to sort of refine all of the technical things, the best thing he can do for us is play hard. And I think his impact is showing up on the defensive end for sure right now.
Do you think Taylor and, having Taylor and Walker on the floor kind of impacts the geometry of the game defensively a little bit?
Yeah, I think they did a good job. I think Walker's defense changed about midway through the third quarter. Walker's been kind of a half step behind on some things. He's been frustrated with himself. And then I thought he made an adjustment in the middle of the third quarter, and he really tried to get there almost too early, and he was able to deter a few shots, block a few shots. But yeah, I think when both of those guys are really active, their length and athleticism really kind of jumps out at you. They're different than the other guys we have on the roster.
What did you think of Collin's 8-second violation force?
Anytime that Collin gets really hyped up, I'm excited. I love Collin to death. His intensity his passion, his want to win, his energy's infectious. I almost ran on the court and gave him a high five. I was so hyped up when it happened. But he's, that's what he gives us every night. I think the crowd feeds off of him. Collin's a very endearing person. How hard he works, how hard he plays, and so those plays are always going to be ones that our team will go nuts about.
What do you think he played just generally when you put him in the starting lineup, and particularly his offensive approach to the game?
Yeah, Collin did a good job. Early in the game, obviously he's off the ball with Keyonte in. And then when Talon comes in, we still try to keep him off the ball some. Collin's a really good scorer, and he's dynamic when he gets the ball in space. He's a really good driver. He's physical. He gets low. Obviously, he hit a couple threes tonight, which is great. But he can put so much pressure on a defense one-on-one. So we're trying to do some things where he's getting the ball kind of on the second side of the action when the defense is loosened up some. And, he did a great job of that tonight.
Coach, you've rolled with some bad times during the year and not shown too much emotion, not gotten too high or too low, but the people watching on TV saw you really angry at the end of the first quarter. What is it that happens that makes you really angry during games?
When was I angry?
End of the first quarter.
Like, was the play still going on or at the end?
No, the ball was dead when they took a cutaway at you.
Oh. Yeah, Ochai overhelped on the zone. We let Quickly shoot a catch-and-shoot three. He unnecessarily helped. I thought it was a moment in the game where we had cut the lead back to 6 and we gave up an unnecessary 3. But I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm a coach. I get mad sometimes. I'll smile more next game.
When Keyonte, when he limps off the floor, it's like pretty clear that he's straight to the locker room. What's in your mind at that moment? Because I'm sure that you're like worrying about him. But like the game is going to change for you. Yeah,
those moments are awful. Because there's a part of you that wants to go down the tunnel with him and make sure he's okay, and that's with any player on the team. I have real human relationships with these guys, and you never want to see anybody get hurt. But in that moment, I have to trust our medical staff to do their job, and I have to stay present for the people that are in the game. It's not easy to do. You want to make sure that he's okay. And then it's not fun when the trainer comes and tells you, hey, he's done for the night, because then you want to ask a bunch of follow-up questions, but you don't really have that time. So it's hard, but that's why we have a big staff. We've got a great medical staff. They do a really good job. Obviously, at halftime, I get to check in with Keyonte a little bit, and then after the game. But, it takes a second to regain your focus because you are worried about him.
As you mentioned, things got a little sloppy down the stretch in the fourth quarter. I think you had 13 fouls in the period total.
Yeah.
What will be the things that you kind of focus on regarding that closing stretch? Yeah,
I mean, they got in the bonus early. We had some unnecessary fouls. They're a really hard team to guard in the bonus because Brunson's so crafty, Randall's so crafty. They're really good at drawing fouls. And so I think, there's probably 3 or 4 of them that you can just avoid by being a little bit more disciplined. And then it becomes hard once they know they're in the bonus because they start hunting them. Like, it's 13 fouls, but they're playing differently when they get in the bonus with 8 minutes left. They start driving the ball differently. Their gathers are different. They're seeking out fouls because they're smart players. So, for me, the first part is our discipline early in the quarter because you don't want to play 8 minutes of the fourth quarter in the bonus. And then, there's a couple plays where it's just either a little unnecessary. Some of them are unlucky. We preach offensive rebounding, and Tech gets a foul going over the back, crashing towards the end of the game. In that moment, you would like for him not to jump over their back and to recognize the situation, but he's also been coached hard the whole season to crash on every play, and so it's hard in those moments. I think that the discipline early in the quarter is really what hurt us the most because then they started hunting fouls.
On the other hand,
Last one over here, guys.
On the other hand, what did you guys do so well for that?
Lay down the law, Danny. Jeez, man. Oh my God, you guys can't wait for Derek to be back. Go ahead.
that 16-0 run that bridged the third and fourth quarters, what do you guys do right? I mean, you had a lineup that we haven't seen very often together, and then they went out and had a 16-0 spurt.
Yeah, I thought Taylor was driving the ball really, really well. I thought the spacing was good. You know, they sort of changed how they were playing a little bit. They didn't collapse as much when Talon drove. Obviously, we were able to get a few stops in that stretch, which allowed us to get out and run. But I think it was a good recognition by Talon of understanding that they changed how they were playing a little bit, and they started to fan out to the perimeter some, and it allowed him to get in the paint. He made a couple floaters, got to the rim a few times. So credit to that group. I mean, I think, you know, when we take care of the ball, we're capable of scoring. We have a lot of guys who have some, you know, talent on that end. We've got a variety of guys that have different skill sets on that end. And, you know, obviously having Lowry back was very helpful in that moment because they really keyed in on him a little bit, and it allowed Talon to get loose some. So it was a good stretch of play for us for sure.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
I've been real close. I think I got like Norman Powell pretty close. So I've been trying to just make my mark. At the end of the day, bring energy, and I know that was like a big thing. Once I got the 8 second, you could tell like momentum started swinging our way. So that's what I can bring to the game. I can just pick up full no matter what, and just try to disrupt as much as possible and eat as much clock off, so I can help my teammates as well. What does it mean to you that your coach gets just as excited as you in that moment?
Wait, what'd you say?
What does it mean to you that Coach Hardy like is just as excited as you when that's happening?
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling just because he knows what I'm capable of. So like every like free throw, he's saying pick up, and I know that's what I can bring to the team and be that guy each and every night to pick up no matter what. I might be missing shots, turn the ball over, but I know on the defensive end I can give my all each and every night.
How much did your role change after Keyonte gets the early kind of ankle injury?
Coach wanted me to just facilitate, get guys in the right spot, and I was off ball when Key was in, and then once he came out, he wanted me to facilitate the game and just pretty much just make the right reads and just come off and just play free. So.
What does it mean for the crowd to feed off your energy, especially after big plays?
It feels good. It definitely feels good, and it's something that like I can bring each and every night. The ball may not be going in, like I said, but the energy is always going to be there. I'm going to give it 110% each and every night and control what I can.
Keyonte's like first real injury.
No.
How are his spirits right now?
He's in good spirits. I know they'll probably check him out even again tomorrow, but he's in good spirits, and we told him it's part of it. You know, at the end of the day, we want you back, but you got to get yourself healthy beforehand. And we let him know that we're rooting for him, and we're going to just try to continue to win for him. I know it's tough when you're watching. I know I did a whole year of that. So him just watching from the sideline, I told him just be patient. Just watch more film. Be patient and watch more film, and just let your body just get back to 100%.
Season high for you tonight. Where did you find your spots?
I would say just reading the game. That's definitely bare. I would say just reading the game. I felt like just reading the game and just picking and choosing what they gave me. Don't try to overdrive or get too far in the lane. And just at the end of the day, I put the time in, I put the work in, and just play. Don't try to overthink.
What's a medical, like an MRI in the morning? What's that like when you have to do it as a player?
Man, it's tough. It's definitely tough just because your mind all night is like, okay, what is it? But he got some good results earlier, so he'll definitely be fine, and he'll be in good spirits, especially once they check him out. So it's one of those things of just like making sure, like you're tossing and turning at night, and even though you know everything is okay, but it's still in the back of your mind, like a little bit of worry.
All right.
Thank you.